Hi, I'm James Vilsack, Adjunct Professor of Percussion at Morehead State University and Doctoral Teaching Assistant at the University of Kentucky. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Spiral Staircase, the primary timpani etude for All-State this year in Kentucky. Now, when I look at Spiral Staircase, one of the most intimidating thing is all the pitch changes and the chromatic scale that happens at the beginning. But what I think is most important in your audition is the ability to demonstrate a solid foundation in terms of your tone and control of your articulation. So as you're going throughout the entire piece, make sure that we understand all the rhythms that you're playing and that you're always producing a good sound, which means you're playing in the correct playing zones, you're not hitting the drums too hard, especially when some of the drums are in the lowest points of their range. At the very top, the very first thing you're going to notice is that the pitches should be the lowest note on each drum. For example, a D should be the lowest note on this 32-inch timpano. If your drums are not tuned in a way that allows you to hit that note, please make sure that you are working with your band director or your private percussion teacher when you have to go to adjust the drums to make sure that they are at the correct pitches. When you walk into your audition, the first thing you need to make sure is that your drums are set to the correct pitches before you get started. With this chromatic scale, luckily, every couple of bars you switch drums, which means even if you get a little bit off, you kind of reset your pitch every couple of bars. So as long as your drums are set before you get started, that should really help you be more successful at the start of the etude. Keep in mind that most tuning changes throughout the entire etude are only going to be a half step or a whole step with a few exceptions. That means you do not need to press down too hard on the pedal to get your tuning change. So make sure we're avoiding drastic pressure changes to where the drum can get a crazy glissando to a pitch that's pretty far off from what we're aiming for. Make sure as you're doing the chromatic scale that you're doing quick pedaling and avoiding glissing, which means you're getting a gradual change throughout the entire piece. This is quick pedaling. Compared to glissando. When it comes to the tempo change at letter A going into letter B, make sure you use a met to consistently understand what each tempo is. It's going to take a couple of reps at each time and working through that transition individually to make sure you're really solid at each tempo. Make sure you do not go too fast. It is better to err on the side of being too slow because when we get the other tempo change, which is going into letter D, the triplets, the measure before letter D, translate to the eighth notes at letter D directly. So if you're going too fast on the triplets, you're kind of going to have a very hard time at the end getting through the eighth notes because you've set yourself up for failure. Err on the side of being too slow. At measure 31, the piece talks about muffling. What you want to do is as you hit the downbeat of measure 32, you want to gently place your hand down on the 32-inch drum and mute the sound. Notice that all I did is I played the E flat as normal, and then right at the same time that I struck the B flat on the 29, I used my fingers to gently mute the 32. You want to avoid excessive muting where you can hear a sound.